Hi friends, WizD here, welcome to a new Raid Shadow Legends video. If you have seen my Soulstone summoning video for Podrick, you know that I got a 6-star soul for Oboro, and Oboro is one of the epics that's being talked about a lot. She has her dedicated videos showing her kit and what she can do. I wanted to test her today with you in an in-game build to see if she actually deserves the hype or if she's overrated. So let's see first why there is a hype about Oboro, and then I'll show you my build and we'll test her in a couple of places. So if we go to Shadowkin, and we'll find Oboro. First thing in her favor is that she's void, so she doesn't weak hit, she doesn't have a weak affinity. She is attack based, so by default she's squishy, she needs some like protection around her. Her passive will put revive on death for 3 turns if she's under perfect veil, which she places herself with her A3, or if you pair her of course with anyone placing perfect veil like Duchess or Richter Drath or someone like that. So well, actually, there's quite a few. Those are the 2 best ones. So on a 3-turn cooldown, she will do this. So the perfect veil and the revive or death will be on her almost all the time if she's fast enough. And then she gives herself a crit rate and crit damage, so you can build her with 70% crit rate only. Though for the other skills, and just to guarantee, I've built her with 100% crit rate. So 3 buffs and revive on death, that's the first thing going on her favor, which allow her maybe in the right setting to solo some stuff, so I haven't seen it yet from anyone. Maybe Amius in Regen. I haven't tried it. I didn't see anyone else try it as well, but let's see. Maybe Bronco got a video on her. I'll check that and let you know. The A2 can steal buffs and transfer the buffs, so that's good for Hydra. Actually, where she started to shine and people talk about her a lot specifically for Hydra, because also if the A1, so the A1, I'm not saying it's Trunda-like, but it has the same mechanism in one sense here. So why does those Trunda Yumiko teams do like crazy damage to Hydra? Because Hydra receives less damage from AoEs, but a skill like this or like Trunda's A2, they are considered like attacking a single target. Spreading the damage or attacking other hits as a secondary effect doesn't decrease the damage. So that's why these kind of champs can do big damage to Hydra. The only thing that she will need a manual setup, I'm talking about Oboro now, because simply she needs to hit someone with 4 debuffs to like make it an AoE instead of a single hit. So that's why, like, because of this A1 and A3 specifically, and of course A2 buff stealing, but that's why she's good for Hydra. What we're seeing in a lot of those videos that because of the A3 specifically, you build her with a lot of resistance and damage of course, and she will be your mischief tank, attacking with her A1 all the time, AoEs, and doing a lot of damage while preventing your buffs from being stolen. So let's check first the Hydra test that I've done for her. This is a recording, and the first thing that I've done, maybe it would have been a better showcase on normal, because she will have enough resistance. I didn't build her with crazy resistance or anything, because she will have enough resistance to resist the mischief head, and we could see her resisting like the buff steal. But this team, I ran it on hard last week and I recorded it to show it to you. We'll see what's happening here. Let's just play the video and I'll talk through it. So you see here, like first things that I'm doing, that I'm manualing. You can see that with everyone taking the regular turns, everybody is more or less within the same speed range, but she has, can you see it on the screen? Yes, she has way more buffs because of her A3. So definitely the mischief tank is targeting her. And if she has enough resistance, if you're playing this or normal, or if you can build her with enough resistance for hard or brutal, she will always be your mischief tank. Now I'm manually hitting ahead with 4 debuffs so that she did that AoE. Now let's just go back a little bit because I want to see. So you see her damage is not great. She's only hitting per 20k. I'll show you the build and I'll show you. So you see here it did steal the buffs from her because I don't have enough resistance for hard. But we'll continue doing this here because her damage will increase over time. And why I ran her with this specific team, because I wanted to compare her damage to Trunda, and I'll show you both builds here. During my test, the first thing that I noticed is that she's not crazy for damage, she's better for utility. So this week maybe I'll try her normal where she can resist the buff steal and see how much damage she can do while doing that utility role as well. Because if it was only for her damage, she wouldn't be used that much. Now let's check the results at the end of this run. So this was the final result for the Hydra run. What we notice here is that she's doing the same amount of damage as my Wukong and my Trunda, and both of these are really built well. So her damage is not bad, and we'll compare the builds as well, but I want to test her in a couple of places first. But she can do a decent amount of damage with the main thing, which is her utility. I've put cruelty on her. I'm not sure if it's the best. I'm guessing so. But tell me if you think differently. Now let's go test her in a couple of other places. So where do we want to test her? Let's say Doom Tower Hard. And let's pick a lower floor because we just want to compare the damage and don't want to get rigged here. Just pick a random floor. 7. Yeah. And I'll remove my speed team. Let's test her here and I'll do a basic test against Trunda and let's see what she will do there. Because I built her so fast, she will take a turn first. So let's first try her A3 against Gorgo because he's void. So the affinity would be the same, A3, 1x. So she did only 20k damage there, okay. But that's without decreased defense and weaken and everything. Now decreased defense and weaken is up. Let's test Trunda's A3. So 50k, 40k damage everywhere. Now let's test her AoE like skill. So we'll start with A3 just because she's faster than my Lydia. Then decrease defense and weaken on everyone. Okay. Trunda's A1 just to have the aura but give her a chance to do her thing here. Okay. Thank you for helping us. So now everyone got the buffs. Let's try on Gorgo again, the A1. Did I see 16k? So the damage is really a little bit underwhelming here. Let's give her A2 a chance and test it just to test all of her skills here. And I'll compare her with someone else because again, Trunda might be like unfair. 50k, 2 hits. So her A2 basically is the hardest hitting, though we didn't try the A3 with decreased defense and weaken. So let's try this and then we'll replace Trunda by someone else. This time we'll use the A2 because we want to place the decreased defense and weaken first before we try the A3. Okay, Trunda A1 only. Thank you for the aura. Okay, now let's try the A3. Okay, so her A3 and her A2 hits for okay numbers, but like you won't build her only for damage. The main thing is her utility, revive on death for 3 turns. And now I'm thinking if you put her in a protection set, if you have a protection set good enough, these buffs will be protected. But yeah, let's see. Let's now compare her against a couple of other epics who can do damage with some utility as well to see if she deserves the hype or not. So for example here, like Ruella buffs the whole team. So let's do this now. And then, yeah, we'll do her A1 for now. Not bad. Then decrease defense and weaken. So let's test Phoenix A1, which we know is one of the hardest hitting in the game. My Phoenix is properly built, so 100k. She won't be able to compete with that. But let's repeat the test now to give her a chance to do the same without the aura or anything. So speed up the whole team. That's way more valuable in my opinion, at least. So let's see. Okay, 10k. We'll hit someone else with Phoenix, giving her a chance to do her thing here. 120k. Phoenix is amazing. I love him. I made a dedicated video saying that if you don't have a Rotos, he hits very hard with his A1, so all of those warlords and in the arena, the other champs putting your skills on cooldown won't be an issue. If you have a Phoenix, you need to build him. He can be one of your strongest nukers. Okay, so now let's test her A3. Phoenix did 100k hit. She did 50k, half the damage of Phoenix, which is unfair to her because Phoenix A1 is one of the hardest hitting in the game. So let's test something else now. Like for example, Ruella's A2. Was that 20k? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Let's repeat it here. I thought like 20k, 10 and 10. So 3 hitter, yeah, around 20k in total with the debuffs. So Ruella, like she hits harder than Ruella. Let's give her that. What I wanted to test now is actually, let's continue this one. So I want to test her A1 compared to Phoenix A2, which is again his sort of utility AoE hit. Okay, so Phoenix A2. Again, I'm seeing like 80k numbers at least. So I doubt she will hit anywhere like this. Let's try it. Oh, we don't have the buffs. We don't have the debuff, so let's bring someone. Okay, I added Theodore to the team because I want the extra debuffs. Just to test her potential there. Let's boost everyone. And A1. Okay, so now we have 4 debuffs on everyone. Again, we're testing Phoenix A2. I'm seeing 60 to 80k. Well, Phoenix, but again, Phoenix probably got more attack and crit damage than her. So let's do this. And then, yeah, only 3 of them left, but let's test the A1. So 17k, yeah, so definitely you won't build her for damage. My build is half decent, but yeah, you will judge now. Let's check the builds. But the main thing is that probably you won't build her for damage. So let's check the builds one by one just to compare what we have here. First one to check is my Trunda. So my Trunda is in Savage and crit damage. Speed is irrelevant there. So my Trunda is 4.7k attack and 277 crit damage. So this is definitely a better build than Oboro. But yeah, you can compare. You can compare the differences here. And let me check my Phoenix. My Phoenix isn't lethal. He's slow. Yeah, he's too slow. But yeah, so this build is unfair because he got a little bit more attack than her and over 300% crit damage. And his A1 hits so hard anyway. Do I have any crit on Ruella? Because she's too fast for clan boss. So Ruella's not crit capped. That's why she's not hitting too hard. But yeah, these are the stats. So she's the only one that didn't do us much value comparison wise here. Now let's check the Oboro build and I'll tell you what I did with her. So one of the solo or self-sustaining builds for Oboro, though she has the revive on death, that you should build her in Regen and Immortal. I don't have proper Regen and Immortal sets lying around because they are on like champs that I use more. So I put her in Lifesteal, which also fits her good because she hits reasonably hard. She got the masteries. Like I gave her the War Master for masteries because we'll use her in Hydra and boss battles. So she will stay healthy for the whole fight because of the lifesteal there. Let's now check the stats, the specific stats. So 4.3k attack and 200%, 210 almost crit damage. This is too fast, but I wanted to test her on higher content. I want to test her solo and then I didn't want to waste the silver to regear her. Accuracy is not doing much on her, so probably I could have dropped accuracy and speed specifically for more attack, crit damage, and resistance. If I change this build during the next fusion or whatever, and she gave me better results, I'll definitely follow up with you and tell you she's doing way better, I was mistaken there. But as such, and of course I have her fully booked and everything, But as such, my verdict for Oboro is that yes, she's good for utility. She's more useful for utility, those extra buffs and the buff stealing and everything if you build her with accuracy. She's more useful there, so prioritize giving her resistance to be your mischief tank that can do just a little bit more extra damage, especially if you have high blessing on her. Or definitely she'll be useful in like in Phantom Shogun, she's Void, and Centranos for sure, 100%. So she will have good utility everywhere she can be used in. You won't use her mainly for damage, it will be mainly for her utility, for her buffs and that A1 utility when you have too many debuffs on the targets, like in a Hydra team and such. I'll try to change her build and test her on normal this week to tell you if she performed any better. But that was my Oboro comparison and my build again in lifesteal. Is she worth the hype? Well, I think she's not overrated because you don't hear about her every day, but she's definitely useful. So she deserves a couple of videos here and there, including this one. You can use her, but don't rush into maxing her if you got the blessing like I did. She will have usability. She's a good champ to use, especially if you're building a variety for your roster, for faction wars and Tronos and all of that. But if you are mid-game or earlier, don't rush into building Oboro. If you see some of those videos, she's not your go-to champ for every well. She got utility, but that's later in the game. So that's my verdict for Oboro. I hope that video was helpful. I hope you liked it. If you have any comments about the build or how to change it and test again or anything, put them in the comments below. Thank you for tuning in today. I'll see you next time. Bye.